Hey everybody, another shirtless video, because why the fuck not? I am going to talk about a concept that is new to me, and that I'm starting to realize is more and more integral to getting the things you want in life and feeling happy about them. I had a coaching call with my mentor yesterday night, not quite 24 hours ago, like 23 hours ago. Pretty close though. And it turns out that the main thing in my way is me. Now, this isn't true for everyone. Sometimes you're not in your way and it's just you need to practice the external things. That's true for some people. You just need time, you just need direction, maybe guidance. Sometimes it's the internal thing. Sometimes it's what is going on in your mind. What do you think you deserve? What is your opinion of yourself, and what are you reinforcing? And it turns out that I have a deep opinion of myself that is negative. I have a deep belief that I'm not good enough. That comes from some shit that happened in my childhood that, I've alluded to it in the past. I don't know how open I want to be with it on my YouTube channel. I might be very open. I might not be. Right now, I'd like to be kind of vague, but descriptive in a vague sense. So a lot of chaoticness, a lot of moving around, a divorce, and that's what I'll say. But I blame myself because it was easier to blame myself than to blame the people that took care of me. Because of course, if I'm a kid and I'm blaming, this is how all kids work. If you tend to blame yourself because it hurts more to be like the people that take care of me don't know what they're doing. That's something that's too much to bear. Everyone's human. Every parent is human. No parent is perfect. So sometimes it's their fault. Sometimes they did such a bad job that they're horrible people, and sometimes they are human beings who made a mistake. And but either way, a kid can't see that because they have to believe that the people taking care of them know what they're doing. Otherwise, the world is too scary. So these beliefs, these patterns, influence the way we see ourselves and influence what we confirm in the world. If we believe that we aren't good enough, then we might have a propensity to want to confirm that because it's our belief, kind of like a religion in a way, kind of like, oh, God is real. Okay, well, what about, if God is real, then the world is 6,000 or 65,000 years old, or however long old it is. What about the fossils? Well, those were put by God to test us. And anything that is against your core belief, it's unfalsifiable. So you'll find a reason to falsify it. Like you'll go as far as being like, oh, it's a simulation, or I don't know. Like what's another example? I mean, I could get super controversial on here, but I might get controversial at some point. But right now, I want to help as many people as possible, which means, while I have opinions that a lot of people don't agree with, I'm going to refrain from sharing those for now, just because I want to keep this channel accessible and helpful to a large number of people. Now, I might change that decision at some point, but I think it's the best decision for right now. You might believe, like for instance, there's a lot of people that believe it's not possible for them to make money. And so then they might have, and this is very common, I know some people who do this, when there's an opportunity to make money, they say, oh, it's a scam, it wouldn't work anyway. And they'll find reasons to poke holes in the idea. Because they want to confirm, because for them to feel a sense of balance and to feel the world is okay, they have to believe that they are someone who can't make money, which is a decision, a belief that they've had, that they have made the decision a long time ago to hold. And if that belief is shaken, then there might be guilt and resentment because a lot of life decisions were made because of that decision. They might have not taken a specific job because of that decision. They might have not gone and started a business they wanted to start because of that belief. And if they challenged that belief, then they would have to realize that in the past there were a lot of decisions they made that hurt them deeply. So that's one reason and one way that our beliefs, mechanics, the psychological mechanics of how our beliefs stay in our mind and how they stick in our mind and how they get lodged there. And even if it's not good for us on the long term, it might calm us short term, kind of like smoking. Not good for you in the long term, but it might calm you short term. So that's a big way that beliefs that are hurtful in the long term stick in our minds, because in the short term they're calming, and over time the pain gets too great. You'd have to experience all the pain that you were avoiding when you realize that the belief is not a belief you have to continue. But sometimes the pressure on one side is built up too much. Like you've been giving up a little bit, and you've been giving up huge sections of your life because of this belief that say you can't earn money, or say you're not good enough for the sex life, for the love life that you really want, for the relationships that you want, for the friendships that you want, for the lifestyle if you want to travel a lot, for the lifestyle that you want. You're not good enough for a job you love, for a bit to start your own business. You're not good enough for these, and you've made decisions based on that. And you might not have really noticed that you had that belief at first. It might have been a small belief that you just started making decisions based on that because it was easier in the moment, because you had other focuses. And then over time, that belief solidified and solidified and solidified. And to challenge that belief would be to challenge all those decisions you made, and to feel hurt and to feel regret and to be angry at yourself. And so it can be very hard to challenge those core beliefs, even if they hurt us. So I guess this video is just to exemplify that, and then also tell you that it's okay. That it's understandable that you might have these beliefs that are holding you back. I know a lot of people that have beliefs about central things: money, sex, and love. I would say those are the same things. Sex, dating, romance, those are in one category. And lifestyle. They say, oh, I can't move because all my family's here, because this, because that, and they come up with a bunch of reasons. But in the end, it's because they've decided that they can't move. That's just the decision that they've made, that they're now confirming. They have the confirmation bias, they have the unfalsifiable bias, and they're not changing it for anything. But in the end, you have to change it. And the first step to doing that is being aware of it. And I can tell you the next steps, but I don't know how much integrity I would have, because in this particular, well, actually, no, I have integrity, because there has been, at one point in my life, I believed that I was sick. I believed that I was mentally ill and that I would always need to be on medication. And that was a deep, 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 deep belief, because it was taught to me by the people that were very close to me, the closest people to me, and it was drilled into my head. It was gaslit. And I guess I am going to be open about a little bit of my past. And if the people who were close to me and did convince me that I was going to be dependent on medication my whole life watch this, then I don't really have anything to say. I'm just going to be open about it. I don't want to identify who exactly it was right now. I don't think that's necessary for this topic. So, so I had to uproot that belief, and uprooting that belief brought back all this pain and brought back all this sense of distrust. Like, these people, they were close to me, they loved me, but obviously they were doing something to me that was hurting me deeply. And getting off the medication, the withdrawal was fucking hell. The psychological withdrawal, because I had put a lot of my emotions on these pills. I was like, okay, I'll be fine if I have these pills. I won't feel anxious, I won't feel sad, I won't feel angry, I won't feel depressed if I have these pills. I won't feel manic, I won't feel out of control if I have these pills. And then I stopped taking the pills. Well, now I don't have the psychological anchor. So part of it was psychological, and then part of it was also, it's like if you rip a security blanket from a toddler. Like, it's not really helping them, but they're going to freak out because they think it's helping them. And then a lot of it was physiological. I literally was crying and screaming in the bathroom. I curled up in the bathtub in a fetal position for hours, every single fucking night for a year. It was not easy. I was talking to a guy who got off of heroin, and he's a recovering heroin addict at Rutgers, one of my friends. And I told him about my experience. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't want to go through that. And I'm like, dude, you've been through heroin withdrawal. You're saying that this is worse? He's like, yeah. That's worse. And I'm like, fuck. I didn't even realize. I just went through it because I knew I fucking had to. And I hope that nobody listening to this has to go through that big of an uprooting of a negative belief. It was frankly abusive what had happened to me, being convinced and gaslit from an early age that I was dependent and always will be dependent on medication for my stability and to be functional, which is not true at all. I've been off medication for several years, and I've been much more stable off of it. Everyone's human. I have bad days. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying I'm very normal. And everyone I tell about this, they're like, "Really, you medication? What the fuck? It doesn't make any sense." And even now, there's still a part of me that's like, "Well, maybe I did, maybe I do." So it never 100% goes away, but it goes away enough. If you work on it enough, it goes away enough to where it doesn't affect your decisions and it doesn't affect your emotions that much. For me, it's really like a faint echo. It's a faint fucking echo at this point, which I'm very grateful for, and that I'm very thankful for doing a lot of emotional work. What will help you is journaling. What will help you is things like float tanks. I cannot and will not suggest psychedelics. They've helped me. I will not make that decision for you. They are probably illegal where you live, and there are a lot of psychological dangers, so you make your own decision with that. And if you don't, 100% fine. Float tanks will get you the same experience as in respect to like self-development as psychedelics will. Therapy, journaling, float tank, therapy. Good therapy. Make sure you like your therapist. Those things, or a really good life coach. Now, those you also want to make sure that you're vetting them too, because a lot of them are shit. I have a good one. I don't trust therapists as much because of what I've been through, because they were part of the process of gaslighting me. So I don't trust them, which I know is biased. But I found a good coach didn't go through the same process of certification. So I trust him, and he's great. So I'm happy with him. Actually, just got off a call with him, live call in our private group. But I urge you to do those things. If you find, like, maybe even say, like, just journal about the question, what beliefs, if any, I really like that word, if any, because you might not have any. You probably do, but you might not have any. Most people who haven't worked on themselves have several limiting beliefs. But I like the word if any because it gives you the freedom to not have any. Because if you ask yourself a question, you'll usually come up with an answer, even if there's no answer. So if you ask yourself, what limiting beliefs do I have? You might make up something if you don't have any. So what beliefs, if any, should I let go of so that I can live my life more fully? That's a perfect way to word that question. I'll put it in the description below. What beliefs, if any, should I let go of to live more fully? And then journal about that, or go in the float tank about that, or talk to your therapist about that, and then try to. It's literally like pulling on a weed. Like, there's roots that might be shallow, might be deep, might be to your fucking core for this weed to develop. And if you want to plant better things in your garden of a personality, your garden of a life, you can't plant and expect like a cherry tree to grow when there's fucking weeds in the soil poisoning that seedling that's trying to sprout. You have to uproot those weeds first. That's kind of how shitty beliefs work. You have these shitty beliefs and you need to uproot them. You need to take them by the fucking base and you need to dig out the roots and dig out the roots. And that's not easy because you're digging into your own soil, which it hurts. It hurts to ask yourself those questions. It hurts to uproot these deep beliefs that other beliefs that are more shallow are tied onto. They're tied onto that belief. When you uproot that belief, you might feel unhinged because your worldview is being challenged and it's being changed because you're showing yourself, hey, this thing, this anchor, this keystone in my narrative, I'm uprooting it. I'm saying that's not true, and then all the other things topple. That might have to happen. You might have to build yourself up. So that's what I would suggest to start working on that. And then the thing is, once you uproot those weeds, life gets so much easier. It's so much easier to build things that you want to do, go after things you want to do, and you're not stopping yourself. You're not driving with the fucking emergency brake on. That's what having a ton of limiting beliefs are. It's like putting the emergency brake on and like stepping hard on the gas, and you're going nowhere, or like going somewhere really slowly and you're burning your engine out. It's not a good reason. Just fucking like tune up your car, take off the emergency brake, and just fucking go, and you'll get there. So I hope this helped you. If it did, like this video, share it, subscribe. Please, I also do DIY videos every single week on my DIY channel. The link is also in the description. Enjoy, and cheers.